Hi everyone, welcome to our second lesson on source work in our study of medieval Europe. Again, the link for my website teaching resource will be in the description of this video as well. So last lesson, we did lesson 1, Introduction to Sources. So we looked at the difference between primary and secondary sources. So we learnt that primary sources are made during the time of study, secondary sources are made after the time of study. And in our study of the Middle Ages, we need to remember that if it's a primary source, it needs to be made roughly between these two dates here. So we'll go to our second lesson, is practicing source knowledge. So this is the task I'd like you guys to do. So in your books, complete the table below. Only complete one row at a time. I've started the table for you. So you need to complete each heading of the table for every one of the sources below. And I've done the first one for you. This is what the things you need to do. You need to find the title of the source, write a description on what the source is, find when it was produced, who made it, state whether it is a primary or secondary source. And now this is the hard bit here. Say what it can tell you about the past. So you need to think of that yourself. So the answer's not going to jump out in front of you. You need to look at the source and have a good think about what could that source be telling me? What information can I gather from the past about this source? And then you need to put that in words. So you can see I've done the first one, the diary entry of a World War I fighter pilot, written by Charles Wright. He was the fighter pilot in 1916 and 17. Those are the years that he wrote it between. So you can see I've got a picture of the source here, and I've completed the table. So you copy this table in your books to start off with. I've done the first one, and then you can start underneath as well. So for the source title, I've got diary entry of World War I fighter pilot, source description, the notes that a pilot kept during World War I. When was it produced? I've got the dates here from the description. Who produced it? Charles Wright. Again, got that from the description here. Is it a primary or secondary source? It's a primary source because he was there during World War I and saw what happened, and he wrote about it. And now I've looked at that source, I've thought about it. What can it tell me? So it can tell me what war was like at the time and what it was like to fly a plane in World War I. So just a nice, simple, easy description in one sentence of what that source can tell me. So the source you do next is the Taj Mahal. So you'd write the Taj Mahal in here, and then the source description. Make sure as well you look at the information to find your answers for the remaining columns. So the next one you've got to do is the Taj Mahal. Underneath that, you've got the identity card of Robert Knox, a World War II soldier. You've got the illustration of the back, Anne Frank's diary, the Daily Mirror newspaper on the day that man landed on the moon for the first time, and the illustration of a knight's armor. There's also an extension activity here if you finish early. So if you've finished and you want to add some more sources on, you can. So add your own sources to the list to your table. They could be anything like video games or a movie, and just say whether they're a primary or secondary source. And then again, we've got one more Kahoot to further practice our knowledge of source work for primary and secondary sources. So what you need to do this lesson, guys, is complete this table, complete the answers in these headings in your books, and use the information in these sources below to complete that table. Thanks, guys, and remember, if you like any of the teaching and learning resources and you want to stay updated to changes I make to my websites or any new videos, please make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel.